Welcome back to our real love scenario. Shout out to all the real lovers out there.
Hey, real lovers.
Hey, real
that
lovers.
That is sticking.
It is sticking.
And I love it.
I do love it too.
Yes.
And that was you,
Tim. That was me, all me. So give me my credits.
Oh, you got your credits.
Once we, I don't know, when we get like super big, just remember this moment.
Okay.
All right.
I won't forget it.
All
it
right.
is on, not film, not a record.
I think it's on
something
film.
that will be living
forever.
Put
it in my casket. I want it to be buried with me. Thank you very much.
Welcome back, guys. To shout out to all the real lovers out there. So let's start with how your week was. What did you do?
Oh,
it's been a while since we've got
I'm
up.
like my week. It was pretty
Anything
cool.
Interesting?
No, like. Gosh, it feels like it's gone by very fast.
Okay.
It was a very busy work week.
Yeah.
What happened? I don't know. But it's the end. And that's the highlight of it.
That is. And It's getting close to the holidays, Thanksgiving. You got any plans for that?
My mom and I are gonna go to dinner.
Okay. Nice.
So my mom stopped cooking Thanksgiving dinner a few years ago. We stopped one year and she kind of liked the idea of going to a restaurant. And I was like, I'm down. So she wants to go again. Yes, it was good. She did cook one year, but that was after cancer.
Cooking on Thanksgiving be a lot.
Yes, and it's not just on Thanksgiving. It's like days.
And everything. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
I prefer I bring a dish more thing.
Like a little potluck Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've had the ones where my grandmother's cooked everything, or like you have certain family members that cook everything, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. How was your week?
My week was great. It was a lot going on.
Okay.
So our Red Table Talk episode dropped, and that's out and stuff like that. So that was cool. Just receiving a lot of support from people, and people just liking the transparency and stuff like that.
I enjoyed it very much.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I enjoyed it very much.
You know, we talk about relationships all the time. So this is our stuff.
And you got to sit with another Baltimorean.
I did. Baltimore's been good to me lately. I'm trying to tell you, Baltimore.
Shout out to Baltimore.
Baltimore has been very good to me lately. So I have no complaints on that front.
Amazing. You guys look great. It was great.
Thank you. So that dropped. I was in New York shooting for Don't Call Me White Girl. Then I had a modeling gig in Philly for a whole week, 3 days.
Okay.
For the Philadelphia Live Casino. And then we shot another special guest for the Don't Call Me White Girl show today, actually, of when we're recording this. And I had to jet down from Philly to do this. And then tonight, Brie and I are going to see Wakanda Forever.
I am so excited to see that. I'm taking a quick little trip this weekend, but I'm like, how can I get it in? Like, I want to see it right now.
Yeah, you got
I just don't have time.
Before people start giving stuff away.
Yeah, I'm staying away
on social
from it.
media.
Yeah, I'm probably
going to
go on Monday. Like Monday after work. I'm just going to go. It's 3 hours.
It is. I hope I can stay awake.
Dre, you're going to be asleep, but go ahead.
Don't put that on me.
Do you drink coffee?
Don't put that, no.
Do you drink energy drinks like Celsius?
I drink Gatorades, but I drink like
well, that ain't no energy drink.
Like no, I don't do like Red Bulls or nothing like that. But I'll drink like Gator Light or like do like liquid IV. That's like stuff like that. But I don't like energy drinks, or caffeine don't sit well with my stomach. But I'll do tea. Like tea has caffeine in it.
Yeah, some of them do.
So I can do that. But
yeah, I'm rooting for you.
If the movie's good, which I'm sure it is, and
I've
I can
heard
stay
so
awake.
far. 2 of my friends went today. They said it was amazing. Yeah. One was like, I want to watch it 5 more times.
Yeah, so I can stay awake during good stuff. It's the bad stuff that puts you to sleep. I feel like there's stuff just so bad. It's like I wasn't even tired, but I ended up falling asleep because it just wasn't that good.
Because it was just trash. Yeah.
But let's jump into, starting our real love scenario. But before we start this, I want to introduce a new segment.
Okay.
We don't have a name for it yet, and maybe that's your department.
Maybe that's my department.
That's what you seem to be really good at.
Okay.
But it came across when we saw this. Did you post it on your story, or did you send it to me, or how to go about?
I think I posted it.
You posted it.
Yes.
And she posted, Rhonda posted this thing, and I was like, yo, I made a comment to it, and then I was like, yo, we should, include current events into our show. So real life love scenarios or something like that. I don't know. Current love scenario. I don't know. We'll figure that
work
out.
on it. We'll
if
work
anybody
on
has
it.
a name, but it's just us talking about some current love events that are happening in the world today and giving our take on it. So the first thing is this video that went viral. It was on the Shade Room. I think it was on the Neighborhood Talk. It probably hit every blog.
Yeah, it was on lots of places. It was
to where it's a black couple.
Yes, at their wedding.
At their wedding. And at the moment where they say, you may kiss the bride.
Yes.
They begin kissing.
Yes, they do.
Is kissing even the right, I guess.
Yes, that's what they were doing.
Is really,
okay.
I guess,
it was a little makeout session. It was a mini makeout session.
Yeah, mini. Okay.
It was.
So it gets to the point to where, it's like, ooh, congratulations.
Yes.
Okay.
And the preacher's in the background like, all right, we give praise to God.
Okay,
we give praise to God.
All right. And then I feel like in the audience, you just kind of like, oh, hey, should we stay here? Why they do this?
What's funny about that, I think the video ends before the kiss stops.
Which is crazy.
I mean, not to me.
So what's your take on that?
I'm down. Like, dog, this is my wedding, first of all. That's number one. Okay. And 9 times out of 10, my wedding, I'm paying for it. This thing my parents didn't pay for it. This was me and his money that did this.
Okay.
And at this moment, this is my husband. Boy, kiss me like this is a moment that you want to solidify and like make it super clear. I mean, he like had his hand on, he didn't grab it, but he like placed his hand on the back of her head. It was a very passionate kiss. And I do think there's a difference between a passionate kiss and like a sloppy makeout kiss. I thought it was passionate.
So question.
I loved it. Kiss me like that.
If you were the parent in that situation, you'll be fine with your daughter doing that?
They grown. They grown.
I mean, if I was her father, I feel like I would just, I know you grown. Yes. I know y'all probably do this.
Probably they do.
Yes. Yeah, for sure you do this.
For sure you do this.
But I feel like I would just be like, all right. All right. You know, it's like, I know that you do it, but I'm not going to willingly just
watch you do it.
Extendedly, like the kiss. Oh, okay. Oh, it's still uncomfortable for me, but congratulations. That's what you do at weddings. Yes. Okay.
It's still happening. It's still going.
I'm gonna just meet y'all at the reception.
Yeah. We're gonna meet you at the reception too. You'll beat us there, okay? Beat us there, because even that, like in my mind, like, oh man, in my mind, I need to take a break, like a break. In between the ceremony and the reception. And I mean, not the little go take pictures break or the little, powder up my face. I'm probably going to need my makeup redone because me and my husband got some things to talk about real quick. My husband, because just a few minutes ago, that was my fiance.
Okay.
But right now, this is my husband.
It's hubby.
And not to make this too X-rated, but husband, it's going to be crazy.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I just feel like it's passionate. I do feel like the kiss was very passionate. Was it long? For sure. And I feel like if it makes you uncomfortable, just look away, close your eyes. We'll stop soon.
It was very black movie kiss.
Yes, it was.
Versus like white movie kiss.
Yes. And I've seen some wedding kisses that are like way more. I mean, you can literally see the tongues like battling each other, like just sloppy. That's what I mean. Still, this their day. Let them have it. Long as everybody keep their clothes on.
Well, congratulations to you, Mr. and Mrs. Long
Passionate kiss.
Passionate kiss.
Yes, I'm sure her parents, if they were there. And I also think, real quick to what you said, dads. I think dads just hold their girls in a different light. Like it's like a forever little girl thing. So it would just be wild for you to see a man kissing your little girl that way.
Well, there's certain things as... whether it's you as a kid with your parents, you as a parent with your kids, maybe you as a sibling with your other siblings, where they doing stuff,
but you don't want to see it.
But you don't want to witness it.
Yeah,
and it's like
I'm sure they don't kiss like that at like Thanksgiving.
I could not do with this.
Well, like Dre said, congrats.
Congratulations. Is there any other current love things you want to talk about or cross the mind?
I can't think of anything right now. Gosh, I don't know. No, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Yeah, because the one thing that just popped in my head, it's very messy, and it's not the right time for it to be.
Okay. All right, so let's hop into our scenario.
Let's do it.
Well, first, hold on. This person, starting off on the wrong foot. Because you asked to be anonymous, but then the first sentence of your thing says, "Hello, my name is."
Very, very true. Very true. So I'm just going.
We're just not going to say the name, but you can't check be anonymous.
That's true.
And then start off the thing
with your name. Yes, and you shared your Instagram name with us as well. But it's fine.
It's okay.
Your secret is safe with us.
It is.
Yes, it is. Okay. So this week, Anonymous says, "Hi, I've been with my partner for 5 years now. We have one child together, and I have a son from a previous marriage. Our daughter is now 7 months old, and we've been talking about our future together, and we are on the same page when it comes to that. But our issue is with his family, who believes he should be able to they believe they should be able to dictate our future. His family does not agree with our relationship because I'm currently separated and filing for a divorce from my previous marriage. This has created several arguments and has put a pause on us moving forward due to how his family feels. He is having a hard time with going against his parents' beliefs as they express he should not have gotten involved with a married woman." She puts that in quotes. "My question is, should he allow his family to dictate the status of our relationship and whether we should continue to build together, or should I just give up on this relationship?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here.
So much to unpack. Thank you for writing in, Anonymous.
Yeah, we appreciate you for writing in.
Yes. Where would you like to start, Dre?
Well, I just want to get the facts straight so that everybody listening and we can discuss with the right information. So she has been with the person for 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
She has one child with from the previous marriage.
The current marriage, yes.
The current, yes.
Yes.
And she has a son with the person that she's actually with.
A daughter.
Yes, a daughter. A child, a daughter. Mm-hmm. So,
Hello?
My question is...
Hello?
You can't see the family's perspective on this?
Yo, stop. Stop it right now. Stop it right now.
I'm just saying,
Okay, sorry. We're going to take this serious. Yes, we are. Oh.
I'm going to let you go because...
Okay. So yes, couple interesting things about this story. And listen, not judgmental. The facts are the facts.
The facts are the facts.
You can be legally married to someone.
Yes.
And not in a relationship with
separated,
them. You can be fully, very separated from them. I think it's interesting that you've been in a relationship with your current person for 5 years and somehow you still haven't figured out how to get divorced. Now, it could be extenuating circumstances that we don't know about. I know someone who is still legally married to their partner because their partner is incarcerated.
Yes.
And because of that, they can't exactly finalize the divorce while he is behind bars. So maybe it's an extenuating circumstance. And all right, cool. But yeah, that's a long time to be in a new relationship while still married. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, to your point, especially depending on how old they are, the parents are probably of a generation where they feel like this is somebody's wife.
Yeah.
And you have a relationship with this person and now a baby with this person. And what can really happen? How can you really move into the next steps if they are legally married to somebody else? So I slightly understand that, but to be honest, I think it's none of their business. That's the best part of the story. I don't think it's their business.
Yes. So I gotta say, everybody always has an opinion.
Yes.
I don't care what nobody says when people are like, oh, I don't have an opinion. Most of us have an opinion about everything.
Yes.
Whether you choose to share it or not is up to you. Some people feel like it's never worth sharing, or I don't want to share it. So I'm not upset in this situation if the parent's opinion is not of you is not very high.
Yes.
I can get why they will look at it that way. Because in the thing you said that I'm currently separated and filing for divorce from a previous marriage. It's not I filed for divorce years ago and this situation. I'm currently separated and filing for divorce, which means like now you're in the process of doing this when you've been with the person that you're currently with for 5 years. So if I was their parent, if I was Mr. Anonymous parents, I'll be looking at it kind of crazy too. Like, so tell me more about this woman. I mean, tell me. Okay. Oh, she's married. Okay. And let's say he told them this when he first started dating you 5 years ago. Oh yeah, she's about to get divorced. She's separated, blah, blah, blah. The situation didn't work out, whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Now year 2 rolls around.
Yeah.
Now year 3 rolls around.
Yes.
You still with Anonymous? I thought she was getting. Did she get divorced yet? Did she get said? Oh no, not yet. Who knows what the reason is?
Right.
Year 4 rolls around,
and now year 4, you're pregnant.
Then you tell them you got her pregnant. Then they ask follow up again. Well, did she get divorced? No, not yet. Still married. So you basically had a baby with a married woman. So I don't blame the parents or the family for looking at you like, she's not my favorite person, or I don't really like the way that, things have transpired. Probably they're probably even more critical of him than they are of you necessarily, of how he's gone about things or his decisions in the situation. So I can understand why they would feel that way. Now, with all that being said, we're all grown. So you can make your own decisions. You can do the things that you want to do, however you want to do it, because they're your consequences and repercussions to assume if something goes left or something goes right.
Right.
So it's up to you. So he should, if that's what he wants to do, he needs to own it. And a lot of times people and men in those situations, or people in those situations where they have family who feel some type of way about the person that they're dating, they protect that person from their family.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if that was what you guys chose to do together and that's what you wanted to do, then it's him to protect you from them.
Yes.
He can't make them like you or the situation.
Right.
It's nothing he could do about that, but he can protect you from it. He can, maneuver in a way to where you don't have to go to this or do this or do anything. But one thing I always notice too about kids, not all the time, but a lot of times, is that when you have a child, even though, like, I've seen kids who maybe had a kid when they were 17 or 18 or had something with somebody who the parent doesn't even know. And it's like, who is this person? But once the kid comes, it's like a lot of love for that kid. So I'm sure your parents probably love their grandkids. I'm sure his siblings probably love their niece, his aunts and uncles love their niece and stuff, so I'm sure that's not an issue, but
hopefully not. Yeah.
To where they, feel some type of way about your kid because it's your kid that you had with him. But overall, I don't think the parents are in the wrong for
feeling how they feel.
But have you ever been in a situation where parents don't like you? Or not parents, but somebody's family doesn't take to you or doesn't like you at all?
I've been so blessed. No, I have never been in a relationship with a man and I did not have favor with whoever his most important people were. His parents, his, grandparents, his siblings, like never. I loved them and they loved me. And I think the hardest part though was like the separation, like breaking up. And then I am very much like I'm breaking up with everybody.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, so
it's the right way to do it, at least.
It's the right way to do it. But yes, I only had one ex who, me and his mom, our relationship lingered for a little while after our breakup. But then, but no, never. And I pray I'm never, ever in that situation, because I do think it makes things super hard, because your partner, if they have a great relationship with and that's why I was careful to say with the people that are really close to them, because some people, they aren't close to their parents, and so they don't value their opinions anyway.
Yeah.
So I pray that I'm never in that situation, because I'm sure it's like such a tug of war, because you want your people to like your person. And when your people don't like your person, you do probably feel very responsible for like trying to get them to like your person and trying to get in between it. But I love what you said about it's not that person's job to like make them do that. They really can't control it. However, they should not be contributing to it. And I feel like in this situation, potentially, he could be contributing to how his parents or whomever feels about his girlfriend, because at the end of the day, you chose to be in a relationship with her in whatever the capacity is for 5 years. So much so to then have a child with her and then up and decide once the child is in the world that now this, my parents not liking you is so much and like, oh my gosh, I can't deal with it. It's giving coward to me, truth be told. Like I understand the difficult position, but it's not a new one. It sounds like it's kind of always been this way. So we too far in, brother, for you to try to jump ship right now, especially if that's the only reason. I get it. I would be mortified if I fell in love with someone and my mom hated them. Now I will say I have dated somebody that my mom didn't like, but I never dated someone and their mom didn't like me. But yeah, that's crazy to me. Like I could not let that dictate if I'm going to be with the person, especially if I didn't feel like my parents had just reason. Now in this case, it's very complicated. And if that's the only thing, then like honestly, Anonymous, I am even curious. Dre is curious. We really want to understand. How long does it take for you to get divorced? Like, what is the situation? And like, again, some situations take a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
But child, who's the lawyer? Maybe you don't need to use public. I don't know if you are using public defenders. Like, that's a long time. You know, like let's move that along. I wouldn't have gotten that far into the relationship, but that's me.
Yeah, I mean, I want to piggyback on something that you said, and it reminded me of this, and I think incorporates this too. But it's something that blows my mind a lot when I've talked to certain people in relationships. It's like if you speak negatively about the person that you're dating to your family or to your friends,
for sure,
their perception of your family and friends' perception of the person that you're dating is going to be negative.
Trash.
So you can't be upset when they're not supportive of your relationship, because every word they've heard come out of your mouth about that person has been negative.
Yep.
So how am I supposed to view this person or look at you when you stay in a relationship or look at you when you introduce me to this person or want me to hang out with this person and stuff like that, when every time you're telling me this person's verbally abusing me, this person's talking down to me, this person won't commit to me,
he ain't got no job,
this person ain't got no job,
this person ain't, all he do is sleep all day.
It's all these different things that you complaining about this person and giving me all this negative stuff, but then you stay with the person and then you want me to, understand. Is it okay if so-and-so comes with me? No, I don't want to be around that person because they don't treat you right. I'm not sure why you want to be around that person.
Right.
And I guess there are positive things in your relationship, but
of course there
you
are.
don't.
Well, probably.
Yeah, probably. But it's like I don't know them because you don't talk to me about them. You always come to me to complain about a person. So a lot of times the person that you're with can kind of shape that perception of of the person that they're dating. And I don't know if that's what happened in this situation, but it's possible that he aided in the perception of her, because I feel like a lot of times, regardless of how crazy the situation is, if you communicate how happy somebody makes you, how great the situation is, how amazing the person is, after a while, family, friends, they can only be so upset, but for so long. And if they see you happy
and they're upset, they hating on you.
Yeah, but most of the time they see you happy over a certain period of time, they'll end up dropping it. They'll just be like, well, I mean,
they happy.
Seem to be happy. They'll get no complaints.
Yeah.
This person has been here for 4 years. Don't seem like they're going anywhere.
Yeah.
So at this point,
and my thing is, this is how I know, unless she was just forthcoming, but it just doesn't sound like she ever really had favor with them. Yeah. And again, we only have a little bit to go off of, but how would you really know if someone is married? If they're not wearing a ring or they didn't tell you that, how would you know? Now I'm going to assume she doesn't wear a wedding ring, and I'm also going to assume that she doesn't walk around with her marriage license attached to her. So how did the family learn of her being married? Did they get that from you, like the guy? You know, if I was meeting someone's mom, let's just say I'm in this situation with someone's parents and I was legally married, but I'm dating their son, I don't know if that would even come, like he would have to bring it up. I would never be like, so I'm married. He would know.
Are you okay with lying to them?
I'm not okay with lying to them, but they would have to ask me that question. Are you married?
It would come up. Mm-hmm. It would be like, you know, talking a little bit about yourself, and you would bring up that you have, I don't know what type of child she said she had, whether it's a son or a daughter, but you have a child already. And getting into the minutia of that's, I feel like, how it could come up when you say that you have a child from, you would say, a previous marriage. And, you know, some people may say like, oh, like how long ago was that?
Yes,
and then you caught up right there.
True. So if the questions go that way, but it could also be, oh, you have a child. Yes, from a previous relationship, from my ex.
Yeah.
The person is my ex. The person, I was in a relationship with them. I am, though, legally married to them. And if you asking me, were you married to this person? Then yes, I would not be comfortable lying to them. But I think in this situation, he really is. And not saying he shouldn't have space to vent to his family or whatever. But like you said, you got to be really, really careful with that. I had a friend who used to do that so much, and it made me uncomfortable that I was like, can you tell me something that you like about your relationship, that you love about this man?
Yeah.
Because it is no way that he is always doing things wrong and you are still in a relationship with him. It's impossible. So I'm sure even if the bad is outweighing the good, it just feels like it's the worst thing ever every time you talk to me. And so as your friend, I'm looking at you like, okay, I mean, all right, I'm tired. But also to add to that, I just don't think sometimes people realize how much they should not share anything about their relationship. Like some stuff is just for you and your partner, good or bad. And it's not just marriages, because I saw someone say on something I was watching, oh, once I got married, I don't talk to anybody about my spouse. And I'm like, I don't think that should be a thing that you should wait until marriage for. And I don't think it's anything wrong with talking to friends or trusted people about your marriage, but not every finite detail, every single time something happens. It's just not for all of us to know. And you have a different relationship with this person than I do. For the most part, they're like either my friend because of you, or they're not my friend at all. They're just my friend's person. Yeah. And so that's how I know them. I don't love them. I don't see them every day. I don't make love to them. I don't have a child with them. So how you love and bond with them is totally different. For me, I'm like, this person sounds like a piece of shit. What's wrong with you? So you can't do that. Like you have to just hold some stuff to yourself. Like be okay with being like, let me think about this. Let me rationalize this myself. Like, let me think through this scenario myself. Like, because when you start talking to too many people, especially people that you can't really trust, and you don't know that until you know that, but people that you can't really trust, some people are advising you or making little commentary or comments, and they're not coming from the right place. Like they don't have your best interests at heart or that of your relationship or your marriage. So I don't know. I think people should be way more cognizant around what you share, good and bad, about your spouse, like, or your person. Just keep some stuff to yourself.
Yeah, it's about that's part of just maturing and being wise and understanding is who you seek counsel from. Like that's just so important. I mean, even for Brie and I, it's like I've asked you things.
Yeah. And I've asked you things. Yeah. About dating.
For sure.
Yes.
I've asked my parents things. I think it just depends on like what's actually going on in your relationship, and then that guides you on who, you know, maybe is a good person to ask about certain things, because you know the people that you kind of have in your village to a certain extent and their experiences and how somebody can help you. So it's like I may ask you about something from like a woman's perspective of how Bree may look at something. But then I might call my stepdad to say like, all right, as a man in this position, how should I operate in this space? But then I might call one of my other homeboys who's married to one of one of Bree's friends or something like that, just to say like, in this situation, like, how'd you word this or how'd you deal with this?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, it's like, first, I don't like to talk to people about Bree in a way that's going to make her.
Yeah. You're not gossiping.
Yeah, I'm not gossiping. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And that's what we're talking about, is like, even in the moments to where I may be upset at Bree or we may have a misunderstanding, I still feel the need to protect her and how people perceive her. She is not a bad person. No. She's not doing things intentionally. She's not doing things to intentionally hurt me. And even if she said something or did something, that's not representative of who she actually is as a person and how she treats me. Yeah. So it's like, I'm very careful about who I may talk to for counsel. And it has to be a point to where I'm really like, yo, I need help, or I need to really know something. But I'm very protective of who I speak to, because I don't want somebody to view my wife in a way that's not representative of who she actually is.
Absolutely. And I think you also need friends who can like listen as diplomatically as possible to also determine, because what you're sharing with your friend is your version of what's happening.
For sure.
Right? Like, I may not get the luxury of, like I said, I may not be friends with your partner. And it's not talking about you and Bree, just period.
Yeah, just in general.
So I can only really talk to you, especially if you're looking for my advice, which that's another thing. Sometimes your friend's not looking for advice. They just need to talk. This is, let them ask you for insight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you have to have a friend who can sometimes really just listen and like really hear what you're saying and be able to not necessarily validate you, but give advice based on what they hear but also what they don't hear. If this person is close to you and they understand your personality, they understand how you operate, they understand your emotions to some degree, they can very well be like, yeah, you think you right in this situation. When you came to me, you like, yeah, she tripping, he tripping. And it's like, it's actually you. You're tripping, or you need to take a step back. Maybe you need to walk it down some, or maybe you need to give a little more grace. Like, to me, those are very, very few and far between. And that's why I just would not encourage anybody to just spill the beans about any and everything, but especially the bad stuff, because it shapes that person's perception of your partner. And as much as people want to say, which I even say this, I'm your friend. You could hate this person on Tuesday and love them on Wednesday. Come Thursday, I'm gonna hate them on Tuesday with you, maybe a little bit, maybe not as much as you. I'm gonna love them on Wednesday and I'm gonna love them on Thursday. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no, ew, like what? So now you love him, so I'm still hate. No, like whatever, because it's your life.
Yeah.
You're grown. I may have my opinions about what I want you to do, but it's ultimately your choice, and you have to learn it and live through it the way that you have to learn it and live through it. And people can easily say what they would do when they're not in the situation.
Oh, for sure.
I would leave.
Does.
Yeah, I would go. I would be done.
It's like,
would you? Because 2 years ago, I remember you being in something very similar. And that thing had you in a chokehold.
That's why you can't do that with friends, because they know too much about you.
Yeah.
They'll bring it up.
Know where the bodies are buried. So sometimes you just got to let people work their own things out. Like, one of my favorite things to ask my friends sometimes, if they ask me for advice, they're like, what you think I should do? And I'll be like, what you think you should do? What do you think you should do? Like, I'm going to answer your question because you asking me. But before I answer that, like, what do you think you should do in this situation? Firsthand.
Sometimes when you do that, you'll have somebody work out their whole situation.
All by themselves. And that's really the goal.
Yeah, that's really it.
That's actually the goal. Because if you need me to guide you through your relationship, I'm not technically a part of your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful of that, because I'm very cognizant of that. Even when random people ask me for advice, all I do is ask them questions back. Does that make sense to you? Why do you believe that that's the case if they're showing you that that isn't the case?
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's like you ask. I mean, that's what coaches do. That's what therapists do. Like, I'm not here to make decisions for you.
Right.
And I'm not here to validate. Like, a lot of people want permission. They're seeking permission.
Yeah.
They're seeking approval from somebody to be like, yeah, you're right for doing that. Or yeah, you should leave. Or yeah, you should stay. It's like, no, I'm not here to, that's your decision to make.
Yeah.
I ain't making this easy on you. You need to make the hard decision, but it has to be your decision.
For sure.
And I'm not going to do that for you.
And you know, people love to throw some stuff back on you. You done told them that they should do something. They go do it. Now they regret the decision. It's like, you told me that I should da 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 da. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you just asked for my opinion. No, you can't blame it on me. The decision was ultimately like with you. And no matter how old we are all can succumb to peer pressure.
For sure.
And nudging, like what he has done in this situation. Like, your parents have now said something so much. And again, part of it, like, some part of me just feel like he's sick of it, right? Like, and maybe it's just convenient for him to be like, it's my parents, you know, it's just too much for me because of my parents. But yeah, it's your decision. You're an adult. And like, so stand on what it is that you want to do. If it doesn't bother you that your girlfriend of 5 years and now the mother of your daughter is still married, your mom and dad will be okay. They made their own lane. They made their own life.
And it's funny. I talked about this, I think it was the last episode. Trying to think. You got to measure up the clips. But I talked about setting the environment in your relationship.
I think that was the last episode.
Yeah. And it's like, you can't be surprised when things don't work out when you're going about them in an untraditional way to a certain extent. It's like, you're still married, but you're dating somebody that had a kid with them. I mean, that's not like for his family to be happy and overjoyed. Like, it's just not the environment for that really to be the case. And that's a decision that you made. So part of it's like I said, having your cake and eat it too type thing, or, you know, everything's happening in life and you think you get to determine the consequences. It's like, no, every action has a consequence. And sometimes it doesn't happen the way you think it should happen. But it's like, why do you think that and you know, certain situations it can happen, but it's to a certain extent, it's like, why do you think you can go about this thing in, I don't want to say a messy way, but like still be married and still dating somebody else and have a child with somebody else and be in a relationship with somebody else, but still be married, but then expect the family, who I'm probably sure knows the situation, to just be overjoyed about everything too. It's like, well, no, if you probably got divorced 5 years ago or 4 years ago, and then begin to dating this man after you are divorced from your previous husband or your ex-husband and start dating this man, then probably things, I would think, might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
And they might be more understanding and more accepting and understand that, you know, we all go through things. Some relationships don't work out, but you handled your business in order to be in this situation with.
Yes. And I think generationally, that is playing a part.
Yeah, I think for sure.
That is playing a major part. Like, if his parents are born in the 50s or 60s, heck, even early 70s, they are definitely like, oh no, how is my son gonna make a woman out of you if you already somebody else's woman? Which brings me to my question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that people should date while they are legally separated but not yet divorced? Now, maybe not in this extended period of time. Most divorces can be finalized a year after separation. I think the court in most states requires
to be separated
for a year. Do you think it's okay to date in that year of separation?
I don't think it's a question of if it's okay.
Okay.
Because I think it's inevitable.
Okay.
Because what I think is, all right, to reach the point of divorce, things haven't been going right for a while.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then to the point to where you're saying we're going to be separated, that means that we've gone through multiple debates, multiple fights, multiple arguments, so many things, and we have slowly started to drift apart.
Yeah.
Once you say we're going to separate, you're basically saying we're done. If the court would allow us to, at this very moment, be done, we would be done. But legally, we cannot just be done.
Right.
So we have to be separated for a year. So I think in that, a lot of times somebody who's at that separation point, you're kind of ready to have something new, a breath of fresh air. Like, you want to be around somebody who wants to be around you. You want to be around somebody who looks at you a certain way or treats you a certain way. So I think it's inevitable that when people finally separate, that they're going to start to date. Whether it is that person at work that they would always flirt with, they actually had that opportunity now to move forward with it. So I think it's inevitable. I don't know about wrong or right, but I just think it just is going to happen.
I agree with you. I think it's going to happen. I feel like I can answer the question. I don't think it's wrong, because some people feel like you're still married and that is cheating. Like, that is adultery. Like, you are still legally married to this person. I don't agree with that. The only thing that I think is not okay is if you are legally separated but still living under the same roof and dating. I think that's a little trickier, because I feel like you just would like inherently adjust what you do in the house with them, because y'all still share a space. So you can legally live in the same household, but you have to sleep in separate rooms in order for the courts to recognize it as a separation. Do I really think that you're going to be down in the kitchen, I'm on the phone with me, let's say I'm dating you, and your wife, not your ex-wife, because she's still your wife right now, comes in and you like, hey, yeah, I'm just, talking to a lady on the phone. I don't think that you would do that. You still have to like make adjustments. And so there, I think it's weird. Also, I probably couldn't visit you there. You probably wouldn't want that.
What side of this are you looking from? The person that's dating the person who's separated, or the person who's actually separated?
Both.
Because the person who knows how serious they are, looking like, I don't care if I can't talk to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I may not be looking at it like, I really care. I'll talk to you when I talk to you, because I ain't looking for something serious at this moment. Yeah. I think it's odd when it's like, well, that's the thing. I can't even say that, because marriages, and I don't know, it's such every situation is so different that you don't know what inside that marriage has been happening, or what that marriage is like, to where the point of separation, even though it's like, all right, we were married, now we're separated, it could seem, if you get into something serious while you've been separated, like, oh, that was so quick. You
were already doing
fast. But sometimes marriages have been so dead for so long, and people are just staying together for whatever reason they may be staying together. And it's like, it's been 4 or 5 years since they've really been like in a space of where they really, are intimate, or really like each other, or like being around each other. So I don't know. It's just sometimes when I think about people moving on so quick, like, I think that before you get into something serious, you need to shut one door before you can open another. Yeah. So I truly believe that. I think dating is inevitable, but if you're going to take somebody serious, then you need to
be divorced.
Fully
divorced.
You need to fully be divorced and shut down that situation before you move on to the next situation and try to have something with somebody else.
Yeah. And that's why I say that cohabitating thing is weird, because even if y'all are both like done, like you both are just counting the days. It's not shutting the door. I don't even know how people do that. I'm sure most people do it for financial reasons. Like, they stay under the same roof because somebody, maybe they own that home together and they have to buy another house. It's not just a situation where I can just go pick up a rental real quick, or maybe I don't want to do that. But looks, the faster you can get out of sight is the faster you can get out of mind. It doesn't feel like we're separated, because we're basically doing the same thing that we were doing before we filed for separation, which is not having a great marriage, but also using the same bathroom and opening the same cabinets. And like, no, dog, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. We cannot live in the same household.
Speaking of a current love event. Yeah. You heard about, Tom Brady and Giselle?
Yes.
In their divorce, but did you hear that she like bought a house that's like literally like right across the river from his?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like that situation of co-parenting, I feel like is a,
it's cool.
It's cool. Like, I mean, we ain't all got millions of dollars like that.
Lots of millions.
We could just buy a house across the lake and have a boat, and you could just.
So is it close enough where, like, if he was standing in front of his house, he can look at her house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, like the kids can run across the street.
They got docks, so they'll probably have to just take the boat over.
Okay, got it.
We don't.
That's actually pretty distant.
Yeah, it's pretty distant, but I
mean,
you
can't walk over there. You got to get on the boat.
Yeah, but it's cool that, like, I mean, like I said, there is a separation.
Yes.
But being around to be able to be there for your kids and stuff like that, there's
Yes.
understanding. But that just, when you were talking about that, made me think of that situation when we were talking about like being separated and stuff like that.
Yes. You want to hear something funny?
What?
I dated a guy years and years ago, who was divorced. He was married for years.
Okay.
He had 2 daughters from his marriage, and him and his ex-wife lived together in the same house, like as roommates.
Do they have kids?
2. They had two
Okay.
kids from their marriage.
So they
And
just co-parented in the
they
same house?
co-parented in the same house. For financial reasons, it was just better for them to stay in the same home for whatever period of time. Now, listen, wouldn't happen today. But what I will say is that it was such a, like, it was weird, of course, because it's like, oh, wow, this is like your ex-wife. But I visited him there. Her and I had a great relationship. One night we like had movie night, all of us, me, him, her, the kids, her friend. She was dating too. It was a very courteous relationship around like sharing the space in the house. So like if her and her friend wanted to have movie night and we had just had movie night a couple nights ago, we'd be like, oh no, we're going to go upstairs, or let's go out so they can have, the house to themselves. Like it was a very, never, ever, ever did I think that they were sleeping together. Never, ever did I think it was more than friendship.
Maybe that,
and it might have been, but it did not present that way.
Maybe that was a converted, like, because it seems like it was very familiar to them. Maybe they were friends, like kind of beforehand the situation, like actually like friends before that, and then they just tried it and it didn't work, and then they were like, all right.
Yeah. And for me, like it was truly, especially her, him too, but especially her, like she just really did not want him. It was very much like, I'm good. We had what we had. I'm so thankful for our children. I love it that they can still see us have a very positive relationship, like up close and personal. Mm-hmm. But of course, even that took some explaining, like, okay, we still live in the same house. Yes, we're your parents, but I sleep up here, dad sleeps up there, and everything's good. So, I mean, obviously the relationship didn't work out, and they did not. It wasn't because he went back to his wife, his ex-wife. Not at all. So very freaky, but crazy things happen. So that's why I say, like, while situations look wild, especially to outside people, like when I would talk to people about that, my friends would be like, are you dumb? Like, of course he's sleeping with her. And I'm like, but what if he's not? Yes, is it easy? Is it convenient? Sure, he can walk right down the hallway. She can walk right down the hallway. But it's possible that they're not, that they are really just good. So if you let too many outside influences get in your head, it can literally tarnish something that's been good to you.
For sure.
He was cheating with other people, and that's why the relationship didn't work out. It was not with her.
It's just so interesting. Divorce is such an interesting thing. Yeah. And I've been not thinking about it more and more, but like just intrigued by it more and more. Like when I just did my modeling job in Philly, there were a few different couples. So it was like 6 people total of the principal models. They had background, but the 3 days, and it was like they typecast. So it's like the black couple, the younger Asian couple, then there was like a middle-aged couple, and then there was like older, like Gigi and Mama, Pop like couple.
Okay.
And the older couple was like pretty much all of them have been divorced and like remarried and stuff like that. And when you're sitting there at these shoots and stuff, they do a lot of times setting up and all that stuff, making sure the lighting is right. And then they have the principal person. So if you're sitting in the background, because they don't want a restaurant to look empty, so you're just sitting and you just get to talk to people. So every time I talked to a person, it was just diving into relationships. And it was just interesting to hear people's story of what led to the first marriage, and then what ultimately led to the divorce, and then what ultimately led to the second marriage or something like that. And I just realized that there are so many situations and like variables that go into why somebody got married to somebody in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a kid or whether it was pressure or whether it's just a lot of things. And then there's so many variables as to why relationships fall apart.
Yeah.
And what leads to that and how it comes about. And it's something I want to dive into more and more, but divorce is just such an intriguing thing to me.
Yeah.
And I've never asked my mom, and I don't know if I ever will, like what happened with her and my dad. I think although she had her gripes and her thoughts and feelings about him, I don't think she ever wanted me to see him in a particular light.
Yeah.
And ever since I could remember, he's always been there. I don't think it may have been always a case from my initial birth, but from my memory, that's all I can remember. And I don't think she wants to tarnish that or, taint that, especially because my dad's not even here anymore. So it's like, what would be the purpose of that? That would be really some hateful, just mean, like, stuff.
It's funny you say that. I have in the last probably 5 to 7 years been extremely intrigued by my parents' relationship. Like whether it's just seeing old photos, and I love looking at old pictures of my parents because they party. They had so much fun together. You can see that in pictures, but their relationship was not great. And it like I would realize sometimes when I first would ask, my mom would get like really agitated with me asking about it. I'm like, oh, well, when y'all were at this picture, what were y'all doing? Or you like you were having so much fun. And she probably was. I mean, but it would just trigger her because every thought about my dad for my mom, for the most part, was kind of negative. And my father's been deceased for 15 years now. And so like you say, you may not want to ask your mom that. I just didn't think that my mom would be triggered by me asking questions. And I learned things that I would not have known if I didn't ask. And I'm thankful I know them. It didn't change my perception of my father, but just shocking. And if more than anything, it allowed me to relate to my mom even more because I'm like, while you were my mother and a hardworking woman and all of these things, you were just also like a woman who was in love with a man who did not handle you well. And I understand why it hurts you to talk about it because it was a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff. And I was like, damn, like sometimes you just don't see your parents as like just a person, not your mom. It's like, this is a woman, not my mother. So it was refreshing to some degree, but I realized I had to space it out and pace it because it would be overwhelming for her. Like, I don't want to talk about that fun night that you're looking at in the picture because that was the moment that it was fun. 2 hours later, it was a whole nother story. Or 2 hours before, it was a whole nother story. So I get that. I really, really do get that. I get it. So I don't know. I
want to answer these questions that she has as we get to the end. So the question that, my question is, it's funny that the married woman is just in quotes. My question is, should he allow his family to dictate the status of our relationship and whether we continue to build together? I think no. I mean, right? He shouldn't let his family dictate the status of the relationship.
Nope.
And whether you guys build together. And then she follows up and says, and should I give up on this relationship?
Ugh. I mean, no, yes, you should not let his family dictate the status of your relationship or how you build together. And truth be told, I don't think that his family is dictating it. I think that you are blaming his family, but it's your actual partner that is doing it. It's your person you in a relationship with that is letting the influence of his family dictate your future and how you build together. Should you walk away from the relationship? I would be very hurt. And again, this is taking what you wrote for face value, that he just up and made this decision that he needs to walk away from this with you because of that pressure. I would not have any interest in, or it would just take a lot of rebuilding, because I feel like if we're really building something serious to hopefully get to marriage once I get divorced, I would hate to think that you don't see me as number one, that you see your parents as an adult man as number one and number two, and then I'm number three. And that would turn me off.
Listen, Miss Anonymous, you need to talk to that man.
And your attorney. But go ahead.
You need to talk to your attorney for sure. But you need to talk to that man, and y'all need to figure out what's going on, because it seems like you don't know. We can't answer the question for you. you need to talk to him and figure out where his head is. Because people have not banged with their family and chosen. Prince Harry.
Hello.
Left the whole.
See you, Buckingham Palace. Goodbye.
For his woman.
Period. We out of here.
We done.
Gotta go.
I don't care. That's my family. We might have issues, but you my woman. That's what we doing. That's what it is.
That's it.
Like, so people will do that for you. It's just about if he's willing to do that and if he truly believes that you are his person. I mean, walking away from him isn't necessarily an issue because y'all got a kid together now. So you're going to be that family, him.
They're not going nowhere.
They're not going nowhere.
No.
They're not going anywhere at all. So I feel like
at least if they're good people, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like it first starts with him and you having a conversation with him and being like, yo, listen, like, what's up? Like, we need to figure out what's going on because obviously this is your child and your family, I'm sure, will be involved in this child's life. I don't want, there to be any messiness or anything, or my kid to be around any messiness or anything like that. Like, we need to have a conversation and figure out how we're going to move in this situation. Your family does not like me. I can sense it. I can feel it. And you've told me your family doesn't care for me.
Yeah.
How are we going to move forward with this? Because I'm going to be around for a long time. Even if it's not in a capacity of girlfriend or wife, I'm going to be here regardless. We have a child together now.
That's right.
So how are we going to move forward and handle this and work this out? And in situations like, if you really want to be with me and you want this thing to work, you need to protect me. You need to come to my defense. You need to, you can't have me out here looking stupid. You can't tell me one thing, but then go in front of your family and say another thing or be silent.
She still got the husband.
Or be silent. Or you just sitting there listening to them talk about me in a setting and you just not saying nothing. Yeah. You're not defending me. You're not coming. You like, or I've been in seen situations where the family's in there grilling the person and then you just silent.
And you just sitting back, letting it happen.
Letting them grill them. And then you just like, okay, like you, nothing, huh?
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Now I don't care what anybody says about like, oh, well, certain things only happen once we get married. We aren't going to make it to marriage if I don't see you displaying certain behaviors while I'm your girlfriend or while I'm your fiance, because I'm not going to wait until I become your wife to see that you're not going to change, that you will constantly choose your mother over me. You will actually take your homeboy's advice over talking to me about something first. If you do that as my boyfriend, and as my partner that I'm talking about having a future with, that's enough for me to know I don't know how you would really do this in marriage, especially if we talk about it and I express to you that it's a problem and you just still do it. It's like, well, that's my mom. Yeah, are you, like, respectfully, is your mother in this house doing the things that I do to you, for you, with you? No, those days are over. You should love her and respect her and all the things. And I don't even want to think about being with a man who doesn't have a healthy relationship with his mother. I would much prefer that. But I don't want to feel like it's me against your mom and you egging it on or enabling it because you won't put your foot down. Because sometimes a man just needs to put his foot down with his mama, depending on how he was raised. Because some guys are mama's boys, not because they want it to be, because their mothers made them that way. So sometimes mama got to know, hey, your mom, you're not my girlfriend. You're not my lady. You're not my wife. You're my mother. You here, she's there. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, and that goes on both sides. I mean, it's not just a guy thing with their moms. It's a girl thing with their dads too, where it's like, well, my daddy said same thing. Is your daddy doing to you, for you, what I'm doing in this house? Because if so, you could go there. You could go there. So yeah, they are flags. And like Dre said, we can't tell you what to do. I think you need to just evaluate it, really. But it's interesting. And all jokes aside, I really would love for you to get out of that marriage.
Yes.
For your own, like, you don't need to be married if you've been away from this person for 5 years and you got a new baby. Why are you married, love? Get a divorce.
Get a divorce.
Please
like
get a divorce.
I think that might even just help the situation.
Yes.
Is if you finalize that divorce and you are done with that old situation. That's like the final stamp of I'm officially done with this old situation.
Yeah.
Because right now, even if you put in quotations, you are a married woman.
You are a married woman.
Legally.
And that man may feel like you're not taking him seriously because you're not getting divorced.
Exactly.
He may feel that way. That's why I say, the parents have an influence, but it's him.
Yeah.
You need to talk to him.
For sure.
Yeah. So, any bad advice?
I don't know about bad advice for this person. Do you have any?
No.
That's good. We don't need to give somebody like that a bad advice.
No.
We have one underlining piece of advice. Get divorced.
Get divorced. Do we have good advice that should work? Yes. Get divorced. Get divorced. We got to shout out really quick before we close the people who
Brown Sugar.
Divorce. It was Brown Sugar. Yes, Tay Diggs and Sanaa Lathan when he caught his wife on a date with her real life husband.
Was that
Nicole Ari Parker? She wasn't there with Boris Kojo?
She wasn't there with Boris. Boris was dating Sanaa Lathan.
Oh, right. Okay, he was in the movie. He wasn't the guy on the date.
He was dating Sanaa.
Sorry. We got to shout out to people that have been leaving us reviews, comments, all the things. We so appreciate you guys.
At now.
Please keep doing that while Dre looks up our numbers. Please keep doing that. We appreciate it so much. We love the comments, even when y'all get us a little confused because sometimes our clips don't have the full context. I do want to just say one thing to our real lovers, or you're not a real lover, but you enjoy the clips.
Okay.
I would really like it if y'all would not argue with each other in my comments. It gets so nasty in there sometimes. The other day I was like,
oh yeah, that happens. I mean,
you can debate, but I see some stuff just get nasty, right? And you don't know these people. At so-and-so is not, they're online. You don't know them. So just be calm down. Calm down. Don't disrespect people. Don't call people stupid. Call them out their names. That's very, very, very unnecessary. So I'm kindly asking that y'all don't do that. Don't do that under our stuff, but don't do it nowhere. It's just crazy. You're arguing with a stranger. It's very weird. Okay, sorry.
I just think it's funny on the clips how people will reference me or as if they didn't comment under my thing.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
it's because they can't grasp the collaboration. So they feel like they're talking on Relationship Restored's page.
But most of the time I post on mine, so my name is first. I don't know. It's just funny. I mean, especially when I have some reels that hit the millions and it'd be 500-600 comments or something like that. And there'd be all types of stuff.
I feel like a majority of the comments are third person. People are like, she's so pretty. I love her gap. And it's I'm here. It's me. Hi. Thank you. It's me, guys. So yes, we appreciate the feedback, but stop fighting, y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate
Not nice. Not nice.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in this week. We're excited because we're going to start having some guests and stuff on, and we'll start doing some live. So just be tuned, stay tuned in. Just stay tuned in.
There we go.
To hear about the different things that we have coming.
Yes.
But if there's nothing else to add, make sure you follow us on Instagram. I'm at It's Dre Smith.
And I'm at Ronnie Cakes.
And at Relationship Restored. And make sure you go to relationshiprestored.com and hit the contact us button to where you can give us your real love scenario.
For sure. We love it. And while one last thing, and I'm leaving, I swear to God. If you want advice on your real love scenario, please go to the website that Dre just said. Not my DMs. Okay, I'm gonna help you. I am, but I would prefer it there.
I got a lot of real love scenarios in my DM.
Yes. We also gonna start doing some just shorter questions because, like we said before, some of y'all's things are not exactly a scenario. Mm-hmm. It could be answered in a very quick. Yep. Nope. Maybe soap. Okay, I'm done.
I'm done too.
Bye, guys.
See ya. Peace out to our real lovers.